Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. I still have just a couple of Clubhouse invites, so if you do want one, send me a quick DM on your social media platform of choice, or send me a quick email, techblogrider@outlook.com. And if you're already on the platform and you're having success with it, please, I want to know more about what you're doing on there, because I've just not, I'll be honest with you, I've just not had the time to learn to get to grips with it. So it'd be nice if you could help me along there, help a aging podcast along and get the most out of the platform. But today I want to delve into the subject of AI once again, because artificial intelligence is one of the most critical megatrends in business in recent years, and it streamlines transactions for higher productivity and automation of routine tasks such as production lines, banking, insurance companies, and that list goes on and on. But founded in 2018, a company called BeyondMinds has built the first enterprise AI solution that is universally applicable and easily adaptable. And the company is delivering hyper-customized production-ready AI systems that are enabling companies to overcome the massive failure rate in AI adoption and rapidly implement ROI-positive transformations. And that is something that so many businesses are chasing right now. And the company also has more than 70 employees, with the majority being AI technologists in offices in New York, Tel Aviv and London. All of that is impressive, but they also have Fortune 1000 companies on their roster, including Microsoft, Samsung, KPMG, and numerous leading defense companies and financial institutions. Topple that with the fact that they've raised $15 million in Series A funding, and I had to find out more and try and get them on the podcast today, because I wanted to learn more about the story behind the company and how they're ultimately using AI tech to help their customers. And that curiosity led me to Rotem Alaluf in Tel Aviv, who is just one of the nicest guys that you could wish to meet. And he is also the graduate of Israel's respected Technion, the Israel Institute of Technology. So that's more than enough scene setting for me. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Tel Aviv so we can learn more about the story behind the company and how they're using technology to solve real-world problems. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So thanks for inviting me. So in my past, I had an opportunity to work for a leading defense technology company and to advise various other companies. In that time, I worked mostly on solving mission-critical problems that include noisy, messy, and dynamic data using artificial intelligence technologies. As one that always passionate about solving challenging problems, I found that the problem of how to operationalize AI in a scalable way is the core problem we must solve in order to benefit from artificial intelligence, and how to move beyond proof of concept to value in production, how to move from AI promise to reality is what we need to solve. And it's an unsolved problem today. And that's what we're doing as a company. And that's what I'm doing at BeyondMinds.
Fantastic. And I believe BeyondMinds was founded back in 2018, and you've built the first enterprise AI solution that is universally applicable and easily adaptable. So to begin with, can you tell me more about the story behind the company and those problems that you set out to solve from the very beginning?
Yeah, sure. So with real-world complexities always in mind, and with the idea that that's what we're trying to solve, and of course, with the obsession to create real value to our customers, we are leveraging our platform to help more and more companies to successfully adopt artificial intelligence. And what we've done is to design the platform in a way that it will be deployable for different use cases and industries, and yet very easily customized to solve specific problem without compromising on accuracy and the value that we create. The design guidelines were to bring more accurate, more stable solutions to production and do it much faster. And we call this the AI multiplier effect. And this multiplier goes all the way from the beginning of the process to the ROI and value we create. From a technology perspective, we are solving the core barriers to operationalize AI. And for example, things like how to stabilize AI systems in production, how to create better human-machine collaboration, how to work with minimal amount of supervision and label data, and how to accelerate inference time to be able to adapt to real-world mission-critical systems. So this is a partial list of problems that we see in how to operationalize AI that are not existing in the proof of concept in the lab environment. And those are the core problems that are those are the core problems that we see that enterprises should overcome today.
And I think it's worth highlighting that you service some of the biggest companies in the world and some big names as well, including Microsoft and Samsung. And there's an incredibly long list there. But do you have any examples or use cases that will just help anyone listening understand how you're actually accelerating AI democratization all across the world?
Sure. So, yeah, as I said, we've integrated those technologies that mentioned before into our platform. And after that, applied it to varied real-world use cases, such as improving the safety of online banking, helping to process insurance claims, identifying defects in the manufacturing process, and problems of predictive maintenance. So we are applying the technology and customizing it to the core use cases we see in the core industries that we are working on, enabling enterprises to accelerate their AI transformation and to create value from AI that will start at the day of deployment, but will continue forever after that, which is, again, one of the core problems of AI, is how to make sure that the system is on the rails all the time, and we can get better and better value from the solution that we have deployed.
And you pride yourselves on being the first enterprise AI solution that is universally applicable and easily adaptable, like I said at the very beginning. So can you walk me through how easy it would be for, let's say, a business to get up and running, and the kind of impact that it could end up having on their business, just for any decision makers or business leaders that could be listening to this conversation today?
Sure. So what we see today is that it can take organizations years to achieve positive ROI from AI investment. And the reason for that is that the transition from the lab environment to the real world is full of obstacles and barriers. And solving them could take a long time and is the most complex, time-consuming, and with the highest failure rate part in bringing artificial intelligence promise to real world. We have created the technologies that solve those barriers in a much more efficient way and tested them on a lot of different extreme real world scenarios. And we've created them in a modular way. So we can use them in different scenarios and different use cases very efficiently. This enabling us to overcome the huge failure rate in artificial intelligence and shorten the time to value to weeks instead of years. By doing that, we're helping enterprises to make the leap forward in AI value creation without all the complexities of building and maintaining AI systems in production, which we take end-to-end in an end-to-end manner in the process.
And I suspect that for many people listening, they've heard a lot of examples of artificial intelligence, and there's a few myths out there as well. There's even examples of businesses that say they use AI, but they don't use AI at all. So I've got to ask, are there any myths or misconceptions around artificial intelligence that you can finally lay to rest today for listeners?
Yeah, so I think that one of the core misconceptions of AI today is that once you have finished a successful proof of concept in an isolated environment, you are almost ready to go in creating value in production. And what reality shows us is that the failure rate from proof of concept to production is over 80%. Some of the statistics will tell over 90%. And proof of concepts are a weak indicator for success. And what we see and what we're witnessing and what we saw at BeyondMinds is that a lot more needed in order to bring solutions efficiently to production. And the proof of concept part is only a small part of the puzzle needed in order to create value using the technology. It's pretty misleading because when you have this proof of concept working in the lab on real data, it sounds like, okay, there is a small gap that is needed that we need to overcome in order to bring it to real life. But reality shows us that it's not working like that. And the proof of concept part is only a small percentage of the process.
And as someone that's working right in the heart of the industry, are there any trends in the kind of conversations that you're having with clients, like existing clients and potential clients, of how they're looking to leverage AI and come to you for your help?
Sure. So we see a lot of organizations that during this time working a lot on automating manual process that happens right now. And in terms of COVID that hits us this year, and I think that the global economy heads into recovery mode, and companies across industries need to do everything they can in order to stay competitive. And in that case, AI can be the key element in improving companies' efficiency and reaching better productivity. In difficult times like these, time to value is also crucial, and companies can't wait years to see value from AI. And what we do is to help them to create an AI multiplier effect that helps them to create significant value within weeks instead of waiting a lot of time. So one of the major part is replacing and automating manual processes. And the second one is generating new revenue streams due to automation that helps them to create and to untap new business potential and new places that they can invest and use AI in order to do things that they are not doing today.
And I also believe that BeyondMinds recently raised $15 million in Series A funding. So can you expand on that? It sounds like an incredibly exciting time for you guys.
Sure. So it was a long time. It seems like a long time ago for me, but we have raised $15 million from great investors that helps us all the time. And we're using the funds to finance our global expansion and the ongoing development of our platform and our team. We've expanded to the US in the last year and hired great executive to our management team to help us scale. And we'll continue to hire and accelerate our growth rate all the time.
And how will that funding help you move forward? Is there anything that will, because I think when we hear about big funding rounds, we hear about those big numbers, but it's not just about that number, is it? It's how it can help you go to that next level.
Sure. So we are dedicating more funds in working and bringing new customers and expansion of the sales team. And of course, also building the platform in a more scalable way to support more and more industries, to decrease the time of customization, which is already short, but we want to take it to become even shorter. The global expansion is the main part the fund is used right now. And as I said, we are expanding in the US right now. We are expanding in the UK and also expanding in Israel as much as needed.
Incredibly cool. And what are your biggest challenges right now? Because I think every business leader is going through some form of challenge at the moment, but what would your biggest challenges be?
Yeah, so we have transitioned to work mostly remotely during the last year, which is challenging and requires us to adapt to new situations almost on a daily basis, but also create a lot of new opportunities and better productivity. So we are taking and doing those transitions and small shifts and adapting to the new way of work on a daily basis. That's something that is challenging, but also provide us opportunities to do new things that wasn't possible before.
And it is a difficult and challenging time for everyone at the moment, but is there anything that particularly excites you about the road ahead? And equally, what's next for BeyondMinds? I appreciate you probably can't share too much, but are there any teasers you could possibly leave us with of what to expect in the future?
Yeah, so as I said, I think that AI has never been more relevant in the history than today. And as we are entering the recovery mode, enterprises want more and more to use AI and to create better efficiency and reach better productivity. And AI can be the key ingredient in this journey. Scaling enterprise AI is one of the core problems today, and there is no written playbook for that. And it's exciting to be part of a great group that shapes the AI future. And as a challenge seeker, one that likes to break boundaries all the time and learning all the time, and those are the things that fuels me. And we are growing pretty fast, and every day looks different. So I'm at the best spot I can ask for right now.
And for anyone listening that would like to find out more information about what you're doing, can you point them in the direction of your website, your social channels, or how they can email your team if they've got any questions on how you might be able to help them?
Yeah, so sure. Our website and social channels have all the information needed to contact us, and we'll be happy to hear from each one of them. Using our website or LinkedIn or Twitter, so they can approach us in each of them. In addition, we are always looking to participating in conferences that are mostly online today, but we are participating in several conferences every month, and they can meet us there too. One additional thing that I want to mention is that we're always looking for amazing people to join our journey, and we are hiring in the US, UK, and Israel, among other locations. So I think that we have an amazing opportunity here to shape the future of AI, and we're always looking for great people to join us.
Incredibly exciting. And for anyone that is interested in joining your team or working with you, are there any particular skill sets that you're particularly looking for at the moment?
So we're looking for people with passion to technology and passion to artificial intelligence. If it's in the sales part or the marketing part or the research part, we are looking for people that want to break boundaries, that want to try new things, and to be dynamic, to do new things all the time. So yeah, that's the people that we're looking for.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you the best of luck on your mission and delivering this hyper-customized, production-ready AI systems for your clients that actually enable customers to overcome the massive failure rate in AI adoption and also rapidly implement ROI-positive transformations. I think it is such cool work that you're doing here at the moment, and there's a lot of demand for it. So I'd love to stay in touch with you and see where it leads, and I'm sure you'll have a few more stories to share by the end of the year, so it'd be great to get you back on. But more than anything, just thank you for taking a few minutes to sit down and share that story with me today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for having me, and I'll be happy to come back in the future.
Accelerating AI democratization around the world. is quite a mission, isn't it? But they're doing just that at BeyondMinds. And like I said at the beginning, they have offices in New York, Tel Aviv and London. And in addition to presence in other countries, they're serving Fortune 1000 companies, including Microsoft and Samsung. And when you couple that with their $15 million Series A funding, it seems like they're onto something quite special here and on an incredibly exciting journey. So I'm going to commit to continue to follow their journey and get them back on here, whether it be later this year or early next year, because it is all about community. And the tech community is much smaller than many people will think. And it is all about helping and supporting each other. And I open that up to you too. If you or your business would like to share your story and come on this podcast, there is a slight wait of about 5-6 weeks at the moment, but I do want to hear from you, and I do want to pass this microphone over to you and let's have a good old-fashioned chat. After all, it's not like I've got anywhere to go, is it, right now? So I hope you're all hanging on in there. I hope you're still enjoying the podcast. If there's anything you'd like more of on here, you got any questions, give me a shout. This essentially is your show, and I'm just the one loyally serving you and hosting the podcast. So email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. My website is techblogwriter.co.uk. I'm the easiest guy in the world to find, so keep those messages coming in. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, but until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.